In steps Jacob Parker, this 175-pound catchweight bout. This bout brought to you by Fight Finders. Jacob Parker, 21, 6 foot tall, and 0-1. Coming to us out of Headbanger Kickboxing. Most recently saw action pretty recently in February. Although February certainly gives you enough time to kind of take, he didn't get the W then. He's kind of had some time to maybe regroup and put together a proper fight camp to here. Stepping out on CK4, stand your ground.
It's always good to get maybe a little, after a loss, take a little bit, look at what what maybe went wrong, what you could have done better, and then bounce that into the next, the next fight camp. But like I said, as long as you're not taking really hard beatings or taking a lot of damages, get in there and keep getting your feet wet and test what you're trying in the room.
Well, his opponent tonight is certainly somebody that has been able to kind of do something along those lines, and we'll talk about that momentarily. Let's go ahead and let Jacob Parker make his way into the cage. Here comes Mazin Polus, 24 years old, 6 foot tall. Currently 1-4 in mixed martial arts, but here's one of these guys that really recognizes that these amateur records don't matter as much. He's trying to get as much experience as possible. Kickboxing bouts under his belt, Muay Thai bouts under his belt. Signing the dotted line to fight some guys that not a lot of people are willing to fight. From Antoine Bibbs to a fight that almost happened against Dominic Gallo. He's not afraid to sign the dotted line. He's seen the bigger picture. And I think that says a lot, and oftentimes it leads to seeing a proper evolution. That 1-4 record, not necessarily indicative of the product we have stepping in cage right now.
It's absolutely, and like I've said, over the course of the night, man, like as an amateur, there really shouldn't be any no's. Like there's no reason to say no. Get in there, get the experience, fight, take your wins, take your losses, learn from them, and then move your way on into the your professional side with all the mistakes, all the right things you did, put it all in the right spot and move and then grow from that.
Yeah, he's even early on, I remember him in one of his first fights taking on a guy named John Mora, a guy with a ton of experience, but he recognized, hey, it's a kickboxing bout, I want to be an MMA fighter, so I'm taking steps. Oftentimes you jump in the deep end and stay there. It doesn't always do the trick. Josh Stewart, our referee, is Mazin Polus. Takes on Jacob Parker. Polus identifying as a Muay Thai striker, taking on Parker out of Headbangers Kickboxing. We should have a striker's delight on our hands, guys.
Always like watching the strikers fights. They're so fun.
Ooh,
Big
good left hand.
Jacob.
Ooh, very good body shot.
Early on, we're seeing Jacob Parker alternating betwing that
I was
lead
just
left and left,
noticing.
right. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
he's switching stances a little bit.
that's always frustrating as a guy trying to get a read, and they're constantly switching. You're changing the way you circle to stay away from danger, and it's constantly a little mind game you got to play with it, and it's frustrating.
And if you don't have somebody in the gym that's able to do that, which oftentimes
Right,
you don't, right, Dom?
right.
I mean, difficult to prepare for.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be because like most guys, are going to be your orthodox fighters for the most part. So you get used to moving as the orthodox guy, throwing as orthodox guy, but when you can go orthodox or southpaw, and it changes your whole flow up during a fight, it's tough.
Well, and we always talk about circling away from the power hand, but how do you do that when in the moment, he can switch just like that?
Right. You're circling the right way, and then bang, you're not.
Right.
Good body kick.
It looks like we're going to have a Muay Thai bout in the 4-ounce gloves here. And guys, I'm here for it.
Mazin very kick heavy.
Yeah, a lot.
Oh, nut shot.
That one.
That was clear as day.
That one.
That's
a rough one.
Throwing the inside, that's the scary part.
Yeah, there's the chance of always catching that, even if it's just the tip of the cup.
Well, cup or not.
Yeah.
It doesn't. People don't understand. They think you're wearing a cup. No, it's like wearing football pads and getting here. It still hurts.
And it don't always stay centered either.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, I
You
know.
catch it off the side, that's the worst.
A cup will shift, move.
And usually 5 minutes is enough, but it isn't always. It can, you've heard fighters complain that, these things, obviously they're errors, right? It was never meant to happen, but indeed it can change the trajectory of a fight, right,
Dominic?
Dominic?
It definitely does, yeah. Especially, I've seen it happen multiple times, guys, and you kind of just lose focus, you know what I mean? Because you're worried. When's the next time I'm going to catch another one? And then boom, big shot lands.
Right. It's like you said, it's the focus. Suddenly, what you thought was going to be a 9-minute fight, well, now there's a break in the first round, and we got 4 minutes.
And your
here.
opponent's over here catching his breath.
Well, and it kind of can disrupt your flow or your
Absolutely.
groove.
You're focused on recovering while he's over here really recovering.
Or even like you're in the fight setting it up and then you kick the nuts. And now you got to set traps again, kind of reset all that you were doing.
And then the absolute worst case scenario is that they are indeed compromised going forward.
Right.
But it does look like Polus is,
Coming
shook
right
it
back
out.
out with some
yeah,
fire.
Definitely.
And it could almost like hinder like Jacobs, like maybe now he's going to throw the inside kick less because he
It's true.
doesn't want to do it again.
Right, that's a good point.
I'm noticing this oblique kick from Mazin.
Yeah, that oblique kick
Those
is
are
landing
scary.
a lot, and it's not fun. And you see he's dropping his hands just kind of to swat at it, and that can lead to a lot of openings.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Polus, catches that read. Ooh, beautiful
Good slip
counter.
and rip there, yes. Nice oblique from Jacob himself.
Good knee.
These boys are here to strike. Ooh.
Good body kick. Big right hand.
Continuing to go orthodox to southpaw is Parker.
Nice body kick from Mazin. Nice round from both
Yeah,
of
it's
them.
an exciting round. Just a lot of the stuff people like to watch. The stand up where you can just tune in and it's exciting the whole way through.
Yeah, and you know what? I will say it does look like Polus was able to gather his bearings, and no pun intended, after that, that low kick. So, boys, you're my color commentators. Who won that round?
I noticed a lot of heavy hands from Jacob and a lot of heavy kicks from Mazin, but honestly, it looked like the hands were landing a lot more from Jacob.
I would say just based on, it's a close round, but the pressure from Jacob
on the front foot,
yeah,
the whole time.
He was more on the aggressive side, which looked better to the judge.
Yeah.
If the strikes are equal, you're landing a lot. Okay, now who's the aggressor? Who's setting the pace? And I think Jacob did that.
Controlling the center more.
Now, it's a tough round to score because it was really equal.
Right.
But Jacob was really pushing the pace.
Certainly a lot to look forward to in these next two rounds. It'll be interesting to see how this fight evolves. But I'd have to agree, it did look like Jacob was catching a beat on Polus, especially with that alternating stance,
Right. Just makes it difficult to adapt.
But Polus is looking to take the center of the cage, it looks.
I like watching this too because, like Dominic said, Polus is more of a kick-heavy guy. Jacob's throwing more hands. So you have the differences in the strikers. One throwing kicks, one throwing hands. So it's kind of like
it's a good mix.
Who lands first? Like, right? Who's do more damage?
And clearly the kicks of Polus are finding their mark. You're starting to see some of that redness showing in the midsection, right, of Parker.
Hard, heavy shots by Jacob.
Good cross check there.
Yeah, good catch and return.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jacob's doing a good job of keeping Polus kind of like almost always like close to the cage where he can't do a lot of escaping.
It also looks, it feels like Parker's starting to, of course, I was about to put my foot in my mouth. It looked for a moment as if Parker was starting to really take control.
Well, it seems like we're back to what we were in the first round with Jacob controlling the center again. Mazin kind of working off the wall.
But again, still very much in the fight, still giving Parker something to think about. There you see some hands from Polus.
Oh yeah, I mean, both these guys, I mean, this is a tough one to score. This is where I'm glad I'm not a judge and I get to just watch and talk about it.
Isn't it fun being a nerd in the booth?
Oh, I love it. Nobody hates the commentators. They hate judges. Yeah, that is not true. That's not true. I take that.
Ooh, I like that overhand.
Followed by a nice head kick.
Jacob doing a really good job of staying outside that front foot when that southpaw stands.
And something people don't understand is you can cover a high kick and it still hurts.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I mean, Polus is covering the high kicks, but they're still connecting.
It's rough on the arms, shakes your center to the core.
And sometimes the foot can creep behind that hand and still kind of,
Oh, big overhand there by Parker.
Jacob seems to be landing some very
He's finding
clean
the
shots.
home for a lot of those big shots.
Ooh, some good oblique.
Some big breaths from Polus as well now. I like the punches now coming in front of the kicks. No more naked kicks from Polus when they do come.
Both guys are doing a good job of mixing up head body with the legs. I mean, they're just doing it all really well.
Here comes the head kick from Parker.
Yeah, these boys are here to throw.
Yeah, these guys are in there fighting.
Again, I'd have to give that one to Parker. Good control in the center and very good job of mixing up and staying outside of the front foot.
I think he just landed the better strikes.
Yep.
And again, the pressure and the control of the cage.
When I think we remember the one strike that had Polus on the cage there, I think that was very damaging, and I think that's more so what the judges are going to be looking for.
Yeah, when that left hand, it's like a left overhand. That's
and he's swooping his head down with it, so his head movement is on point too.
And when it connects, that moment you're talking about, I know exactly what you're talking about, Dominic. I didn't love the way Polus kind of retreated back.
Exactly.
If he wasn't rocked, it certainly looked like he may have been.
It's a tell to the judges that, hey, I don't feel good.
Correct. And potentially just more of that tide continuing in the favor of Parker. But again, a whole round left. And with these guys swinging for the fences, anything is possible.
Anything can happen.
Especially at this size.
Yeah, these are big boys.
And a really good pace the whole fight so far.
For sure, yeah.
Not a lot of dull
nobody backing off, really.
No.
Both fighters meeting in the center of the cage, immediately going to work.
Polus is landing a lot of body kicks.
And I'm noticing, that it doesn't even seem to be phasing Parker.
Yeah, Parker's a Terminator out there. You see him just continuing to pressure forward.
You hear the corner calling for him to go for it when he switches the feet. It's hard to do. Oh, good right hand there.
Well, he went body, head, and both landed very well.
A left to the body and a right hand upstairs, connecting for Parker.
When you have him on the cage like that, there shouldn't be any room given up.
Yeah, Parker's kind of like
letting him work off
the cage. Like right here, you got it.
Right here, he stays there.
And then he kind of
backs up, gives the back foot.
Good right hand.
And I mean, at this point in the fight, you got to wonder, how are these guys' gas tanks feeling right now?
Right, both of them have very good output, but you got to, again, you wonder how much gas remains in the tank. But with this being the third and final round, you can imagine they're both going to leave it all out there.
For sure.
A hard kick.
Still throwing with killer's intent. Good knee.
The coaches of Jacob Parker imploring him to continue to come forward with those hands. He's had so much success coming right down the pipe.
Ooh, good body knee.
Returning with hands, though, was Parker.
Good jab. Snapped his head back there.
So, you guys talked about Parker maybe not, you sometimes letting Polus off the hook, but he's just one of those fighters, Polus is, that he just kind of figures out ways to stay just in the fight enough, right?
No,
Give you plenty to think about. Even if it is kind of the tide is in your favor from beginning to end, you can't sleep on someone like Polus in 4-ounce gloves.
No, absolutely not. I mean, he's still snapping Parker's head.
Yeah.
Right.
These boys are picking it up a little bit.
Oh, and
Mouthpiece
knocking out the mouthpiece. What a gentleman.
Right?
What a gentleman.
I don't know
Protect
if I
those
did- I don't know
pearly
if I would
whites.
have done that.
I'd have kicked it through the fence.
Yeah.
It's in the front
I
row,
might have
pal.
grabbed
Let's
it
go.
and thrown it.
Ooh,
Nice.
good uppercut there. These boys are going after it in this last 10 seconds.
3 rounds and not a takedown in sight.
Wow.
What a bout between Jacob Parker and Mazin Polus. The respect that has to be shared after a battle like that between these two. You gotta love it, man.
And it's something that unless you fight or been around the fight game, you'll never really understand. It's, yes, like when you fight, it's you're trying to hurt the other person. But at the end of the fight, when it's all said and done, you just shared an incredible moment, and during that time, you have to respect each other.
Yeah, definitely.
You earn that respect.
Definitely. And no matter the result that we're about to get, both of these fighters are willing to go out on their shield had it happen.
Right.
We've certainly completed all 3 rounds with a lot of action, but both of these fighters were willing to go out on the shield if it was going to happen. That being said, both of them had full killer intentions.
Pure entertainment, really.
No doubt, from beginning to end here at CK Fighting. Fantastic matchups, unbelievable action. And now we get to put a bow on this one. As we get our official decision, the scorecards are tabulated. This is Tina Colonna.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the super welterweight division, our winner tonight by unanimous decision by a score of 29-28. Our winner tonight, out of the blue corner.
I'm going to guess that they gave that 3rd round to Polus, is what I would think, because the pressure in the first 2 rounds was unstoppable by Jacob.
Which goes to, again, like we kind of talked about the whole bout.
Those
Jacob
tides-
was doing a good job, but Polus,
If you just keep pressing forward, at some point,